Welcome back on this glorious and amazing day. And let's continue on with group number 1. So now that you have done the 3 steps, what is the outcome? So far I have 2. Maybe as I record, I might come up with a 3rd one. What is the outcome? Let's go to number 1. The outcome of this exercise is that you will begin to see a very small shift. You will snap less. You might need to have less time to fall asleep, but you have to really analyze it. You see, with my sessions, when I listen to people and I deal with their anxiety or their depression, I usually take notes. And many times after a few months, the client gets frustrated, and I understand. And they tell me, you know what, I'm spending so many months and I don't see any changes. This is just so frustrating for me. I just feel like I'm never going to get out of it. And I validate the way their feelings are, and I tell them what I'm going to share with you. Any parent or any sibling or anyone living with another human being, from when they're born, you can never walk into the room and say, OMG, now I've seen you have grown. Wow, what a difference. When we are with our children 24/7, they could go from being an infant to being 15, and we never had a day that we go, wow, you have grown so much. People that haven't seen our children for a few months, or definitely a few years, they go, wow, did they grow. So when you're with yourself, day in, day out, you do not see that emotional small baby steps. So what I do for them, I don't argue with them, tell them, oh yes, you really changed. So I ask them, could we go through a few details? And they go, sure. And I basically go back to my notes and I show them black and white things they can never say, things they can never ask, things that they have told me how their life is changing, that they have shared with me, and I just repeat it back, and they all tell me the same thing. Wow, I never noticed that. And I tell them the truth. I said, I would have not noticed that too, but I recorded the baby steps, which to me, they all accumulate and become something very large. So is this the secret to happiness? That your life will turn around, that you'll become happy? Not at all. This will not change your life dramatically, that suddenly there is no anxiety, suddenly you fall asleep easily within a minute or 2, and suddenly you have control over your food and your food doesn't have control over you. But this is just the beginning, and the rich get richer. And that applies to financial, but it as well applies to emotional. And for my personal journey, which I'm still in the middle of that journey, it's just incredible because it only gets better and it only expands. And just like a body is not born and suddenly turns into a 20-year young person, it takes a long time. The emotional matureness and the emotional healing also takes time. But if you even get a fraction of 1% of your day that works well, that just expands and keeps on going. So let me just summarize that the one difference you see in your life, the small difference is that you might not snap. So in the past, you used to snap 10 times a day. If you look very carefully and you analyze your day-to-day behavior, you'll notice that you snap 9 times instead of 10. Yeah, but I still snap 9 times. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. My life should have been good. When we focus on the 10% that we have improved, that we have evolved, that we have elevated our soul, that 10% expands way faster. And if we do, sadly, what most people do is they say, yeah, of course, I have changed 10%. I only snapped 9 instead of 10, but I'm still a jerk. I'm still terrible. And I'm stuck in the same habits. And I still snap 9 times. Look, what's the big deal after all these months just snapping 1 time less? When you focus on the 9%, on the 90% that is going wrong, sadly, that 90% might expand now to 92, 95. So you're going to go backwards, even though you have already enhanced your life, your day by 10%. But if you choose to focus on the 90%, that's still not the way you want it to be, that's still frustrating you, that you still feel stuck, sadly, that will expand. Knowing the science will motivate you, even though it's not easy, to focus on what's going right in addition to the exercise, so then you can expand the positive, evolving life that you have created for yourself towards the light, towards the freedom, towards the tranquility, towards the inner happiness. Thanks for joining, thanks for listening, and thanks for remembering that you are way greater than you think you are.